Hi everyone, this is Robin Joy, the Happy Food Chef, and today I'm going to teach you a little bit about matcha tea. I lived in Japan for 2 years, and I also lived in Hong Kong for 3 years, so we'll be talking on the next video about pu'er. But at any rate, there's a few things to know about matcha. So this is powdered green tea, and this is ceremonial matcha. Matcha has been a big thing because of all of the antioxidants. This is just, we all know now that green tea is just so good for you. And when we write out some things on it, we'll tell you more benefits about it. But today I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to make it. And also this is, now matcha has been used even in cooking. So you're finding chocolate with matcha in it. You can use it in a stir fry if you want a little bit of that green tea taste. It's just an amazing tea. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and I don't have, okay. So it all started with tea ceremony in Japan. This is traditionally what is made in the tea ceremony. And unfortunately, all of my teaware is in storage, so I have everything. I have the tea bowls, all of the accoutrements and tools for really doing tea ceremony in the proper tea ceremony way. And there are many tea ceremonies. There's not just one Japanese tea ceremony. They have different ceremonies. They even have a New Year's tea ceremony where it's a full meal and tea ceremony. So this is just making matcha. So I'm going to put, I don't have a tea bowl and I need something. So this is a whisk. This is what we're going to make it with. This is what the tea looks like. It's a powder and it's very green tasting. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in my bowl. And then normally, so you always bring your water to a boil. And so I've already boiled my water and it's cooling down right now because you don't want it super, super boiling hot. And I don't have a pitcher, unfortunately. And in tea making, there's ways in which you take the water from the boiling pot and you actually put it into, for tea ceremony, there's this beautiful pot that you have. So putting it in another pot is one step in the cooling process. Just putting it in that pot, it absorbs some of the heat. Then from that pot, you ladle it into your tea bowl and you start to make your green tea. I don't have any of those accoutrements, but I do have a ladle. And actually, I will ladle. Didn't even think of this. I will. So I'm going to bring some of this into my tea bowl, and I'm going to add some of it, and I'm going to start whisking. And you basically gently use your whisk to dissolve the tea. And actually, what it does is it actually starts to foam. It makes this beautiful little foam on top. And that's, when we drink it, that's one of my favorite things to have. And I do want a little bit more water because what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to make this. It's too late in the day for me to drink this. So I'm going to make it and then I'm going to refrigerate it. And I'm going to have it tomorrow as iced tea. They're now, you know, in the old days, it was just matcha. But they now do matcha latte. They've taken matcha and they've done all of this fancy stuff with it that you can make with matcha tea. They add different, you could even take cinnamon and put cinnamon stick in here. Many different things that you can do to make I call it beginner's matcha. And I actually did a tea tasting in my gallery and I had ordered these other matchas that we call beginner matcha, and it has sweetener in it because traditionally you don't sweeten it. So, and then you do this with your whisk, and there's usually a special container that you put your whisk in. So it's a whole ceremony. And I'm going to pretend that this is a tea bowl. So in tea ceremony, what we do is the person who makes the tea master, she'll take the first sip. And one of the things that you do in tea ceremony is, because these bowls, these tea bowls for matcha can cost you thousands of dollars. And so one of the things in tea ceremony is the appreciation of the beautiful teaware. And there's also a whole washing ceremony of the tea utensils and all of that you do before you even make the matcha. So the tea master would take the first sip and she'd sip it, and then there are special little napkins that you have folded a very specific way, and you fold it over the corner of your tea bowl, and you do one wipe, and then you turn the tea bowl slightly and you pass it to the next person that's involved in the tea ceremony. And they take a moment and they look at the tea bowl and observe the beauty of the tea bowl, the smell of the tea, the looks of the tea. It's a whole appreciation process of all of what this represents. And then you take a taste, that person has a napkin, they do a swipe, and then they turn the bowl and they pass it to the next person. And so the tea gets passed around the group of people who are in the tea ceremony, and everybody drinks from the same tea bowl. So that is the beginning of matcha tea. And like I said, there's so many things that you can now do with this. You can bake with it. People use it in making chocolate. So raspberries, I would even whip up some fresh raspberries, or if I wanted to drink it like this, I would take some fresh raspberries and just float them in there. It would look so beautiful. So there's many different things that you can do with matcha. Anyway, that's our session for today.